What's up, everybody? What is going on, man? We got Jeff Pive already in the building, man. Shout out to him. Rhode Island High School football, man. I gotta say, for week one, it was exciting. All across the board, man. Up and down. Every division had something going on. Not like last season with the Power 4 rankings, man. Like, D1 was so freaking boring to follow. Every other week, you know, they had a game going on, but crazy, man, crazy. So many great games. I was supposed to go to Instagram instead. After so many great games and stuff. Johnston and North Providence kicked it off. Cranston East. Not looking too good playing a D4 team, Jimmy. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't want to hear it. You go down to D4 and you get beat 3-8, right? I mean, it is what it is, man. We're gonna bring on Coach Piva. Make sure everything's good with him. What up, Coach? Can you hear me? You got good sound?
Yep, we're good. How we doing?
Let me get rid of this noise. Can you hear me? No?
Yeah, I got
I
you.
can't hear him for some reason. Let me see what's going on with that. Let me see if the audience can hear you, Jeff. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to get this straightened out. I had this problem the other day with Coach Washington as well. Let me see what's going on with this. Let's see. StreamYard. All right, Coach. I'm gonna have to figure this out, and I'll get back to you if you can hear me.
All right, sounds good.
I don't have any sound from you. I gotta figure this out, but I'll send you a message as soon as it's all set.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the incoming streams. Can everybody hear me on social media and stuff? On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter? Damn, man. This shit, like... Let me see. I don't even know if you could hear Coach Piver when he was talking. Shout out to Coach Kessler over there. Shout out to Kenyon Thea. But I know you can hear me because I could hear it. Yeah, see, I just can't hear Coach Piver. There might be another way I could do it. But until I figure that out, man, we had some great games. I wanted to get up there and check out the Middletown Rogers tribute game. What a great that was a high scoring game. I know Middletown wish they came out on the other side of that. Shout out to Coach DeLawrence. Coach DeLawrence, I think Tolman has Coventry this week. Coventry, tough game against St. Ray's. Great game against St. Ray's. And a couple things. I mean, St. Ray's had a great game against Coventry. And a couple things I noticed about that St. Ray's game. But before I do, big shout out to UMass Dartmouth. How about UMass Dartmouth putting up 73 on Pittsburgh? Like, Coach McCormick, you got to give him all the praise for bringing in for building a program that they built up at UMass Dartmouth. Great job he did up there. I was looking at the running back numbers. They were insane. It was 73-7 over Pittsburgh State. I mean, just nothing but dominance on the field. Junior running back Kevin Brown, URI. I don't know what they were thinking, URI, by not wanting to play that Kevin Brown. Um, he was definitely the star of that game. These lights are killing me. But yeah, so URI let's Kevin Brown go. UMass Dartmouth fast to pick him up. That dude just runs explosive. He could break some tackles. Josh Lacert back on the Corsairs from Westerly. Took last season off, comes back like didn't even miss a step, man. Start to finish, the whole performance of that game was stellar. Absolutely, man. And with the dominance of a lot of Rhode Island football players on that program, incredible, man. LaSalle, man, I did not think LaSalle was going to beat St. John's with a final score of, was it 42-7? Shout out to LaSalle. I heard Campbell actually came back. He's back on LaSalle. I think he went to prep out there in Miami last season. Yes, absolutely great tribute to Coach Bell. Emotional night, hard fought game by both teams. Keep an eye on Rogers this season. Absolutely. We always keeping an eye on Rogers. Coach does a great job over there. So yeah, that was a great game. And I use actually one of the pitches as my thumbnail, for today's show. Meanwhile, Barrington and Cumberland, man. Here's two teams that I had ranked inside my top 5. Providence Journal ranked them 18 and 19 with North Smithfield right behind them. And I think that was just disrespectful to rank them programs at 18 and 19 because we got to rank them. It's a preseason ranking of what they have already done. Now, what they might do. Now, you may say Barrington graduated a big class. They did the same thing a couple years ago. Barrington graduates 25 kids after they come from D1. They end up in D2. They go to the Super Bowl. They graduate 25 kids. And what happened? Sandy Gorham, again, back to the Super Bowl. So I couldn't rank Barrington and Cumberland that far up. Maybe things can change now. But now we have the RPI numbers. But Barrington, man, suffering a tough loss to Cumberland 23-7. And I asked somebody at Barrington, I said, wow, man, that was a tough loss. They said, let me tell you something. They said, Lima can have week 1 because we own the postseason. And I was like, ow, that stings. So makes a great point. It's hard to win twice in a season, and you can have week 1. He said, because we own the postseason. That sentiment definitely reflects on this team's confidence. They said that they have the ability to regroup and perform in games going forward. Another matchup that I noticed before I get to St. Ray's and Coventry, right? Westerly Bulldogs traveled to Charahoe for their usual game that they play every year, week 1. Some coaches said they wouldn't play that game. They wouldn't play that game at all because of what the Bulldog has. But that's something that the community's been doing. I think it's even beyond outside the coach's hands. I don't think he has a choice but to play that game, man. But 42-6, Bulldogs win that game big time, man. The second half, sophomore Husserl just starts lighting up the scoreboard, man. Now, there's a sophomore, and he did it with a freshman connecting on like 3 touchdown passes. A freshman wideout. Keep an eye on this name, Daniel Cummins, because you may hear a lot of this kid, coming from the feeder program, the Westerly Pee Wee Bulldogs since 1964, have been sending kids up to Westerly, But Husserl, great quarterback. Another quarterback that's inside my top 5. Husserl completed 16 of 26 for 361 yards and 5 touchdowns, man. A lot of quarterbacks throwing up some touchdowns, man. Broncos Broncos and Mount Pleasant, man. This game was over by halftime. Jelinas, man, looking like his brother out there. He goes for like 3 touchdowns. One of the backs go for 3 touchdowns. It wasn't even anywhere near into halftime. And Barville was already sending in the 2s, 3s, 4s, and anyone else that wanted to get through the door and play. Shout out to Mount Pleasant. Not used to Mount Pleasant seeing a team like that, but hopefully Mount Pleasant can shake things up and get it figured out, right? Oh, watching that St. Ray's hosting Coventry game, man. St. Ray's securing their first win, playing good football over there at home. Racks up a score of 33-14 against the Oakers with Anthony Alejandro. Defensive coach, man, a little shaky, though. Look like he's afraid of the deep ball, and it's very recognizable, even to a novice fan. The St. Ray's, man, how about the underclassman Tashad Brown? Shout out to him. We knew he was going to be able to play some ball. Comes from a lot of flag football. His dad, Coach Charlie, shout out to him. And if you're looking to get involved at the youth level, you have Club Charlie, somebody that you can go in and see. But this kid put up 3 touchdowns, rushing for 36 yards. They said the performance was so good that it's a personal best in rushing, but also highlights a potential as a key player. St. Ray's definitely have some dogs. And someone else that stuck out to me was number 17. So, when I see a player that looks like, exceptionally talented, I got to look him up, see where he comes from. Kamari Buchanan. Keep an eye on that. Listen out for that name as well, number 17, because this is a football player that's going to be a strong candidate for all-state selection at wide receiver and DB. So look out for him. He's actually a transfer from Catholic Memorial. So the boy can ball. I think Channel 12 might have had him on the news this week, showing one of the updates. But the Saints are facing challenges with the injury of newcomer Nelson Martinez, though, a transfer that comes from Seekonk, Mass, who had a very, very good sophomore season out there in Seekonk. It looks like he separated his non-throwing shoulder during a scrimmage against NK. But from what I've heard confidentially over there in Saints Nation is the staff appears to be taking a cautious approach with him as he recovers. But what a great football season it was. As it progresses, some of these games, the matchups are just going to be incredible, man. West Warwick and East Providence. Another screw up by the Journal. Shout out to East Providence. I mean, no disrespect here. But how do you have East Providence ranked number 10? No disrespect to East Providence. The line is very thin. We've seen West Warwick, be able to have a pretty good day. Branch, West Warwick passing the ball around and the score, even though it was a 1 touchdown game, I don't know if the score reflects, what the game was actually, what the game was. And you can go on Fans Only Sports and check that game out. Because I'm not sure if, it was a good football game, but it shows like what East Providence needs to do. They have a lot of work to do, and I just can't understand it because East Providence has everything that you need to create a dominant football program. They got a new high school. They got new facilities. They got the best of the best over there, and they have had talented kids come through the door the last couple of seasons. So what do we do to? I don't know what they have to do to get a little better. I mean, it's they have to do something. And now East Providence has Westerly next week. It's not going to get any easier. It's not going to get any easier at all. I'm actually just looking up the get my scores up here and stuff. But yeah, great football. So many teams. Situate, shout out to you on a win. I'm glad to finally see Situate doing well. They have a senior heavy team. You know, but Situate comes out with a big win. Where are we? Where are we? Come on. But yeah, the quarterback numbers are really going to start to show this week, because before this week we only had Dylan Lynch up there for 377 yards out of Bishop Hendricken. So, and I hope all teams stop put their players stats up on Max Preps. It's just so much easier to talk about a lot of these kids, man. But what did y'all think about week 1? North Providence, man. Big game, big win over Johnston. That's why I'm surprised I can't find any shit. There we go. You know, I think Mount Hope lost big to Classico. What was that, like 30 to, 35 to 41. Middletown and Rogers. That's a game that I definitely have mocked over here, man. What a great game by both coaches, by both programs. A lot of emotions probably went high in that game. Tolman and Lincoln, 22 to 14. Lincoln, strong team last season. I'm not sure if they came in with the same team that they had last year. And Tolman, let me say, Coach DeLawrence has been someone always at that point where you can never count them out, because they're always there at the end. You know, when it comes time. Let me see if I got that up here. No. When it comes time around playoff time, Coach DeLawrence always has that program in a good situation. Moses Brown and Shea. Who has Shea next week? West Warwick has Shea next week. Shea last couple of seasons, has not been able to straighten it out. You got Alejandro was over there. He went over there as a co-coach, quit before the season began. He goes over to Pontigansett, and then he ends up at Coventry. And now we have another assistant coach over at Shea, and Shea has just been struggling to put it together. Didn't have a great season last year. Are they going to have a good season this year? Moses Brown, shout out to Coach Perry. Moses Brown picking up his first win as a high school coach, having all that experience over there, with the Mount Hope Cowboys, so he's still on the east side. I think Moses Brown in the next couple of years, I know their administration is willing to put up the money. They already said it. They said, we don't mind. We'll finance a kid up to 95, 97%. 51% of our student body is on financial aid. We have, so many hundred millions, we prepared for this. The upset of the week had to be North Kingstown going down to Cranston West, man. Shout out to Cranston West. Cranston West winning that game. Very, very close game, 29-28. I did not expect that. But I have been hearing, watch out for Cranston West. They're going to be asleep. They have a terrific quarterback. But I was surprised that NK lost that friggin' game, man. I really was. How about this one, man? Narragansett and Cranston East, right? Cranston East in Division 3, Jimmy Cook, they're getting the kids coming over from CLCF. They have experience being coached by Jimmy's brother, Michael, and it's going to be tough over there at Cranston East. You got to bust the kids back and forth to the practice field, and then kids find out, oh, I got to go to football every day, and academics, it ain't no secret. It's been hard keeping kids on the field in past years because of academics, but nonetheless, you're in Division 3. A Division 3 team cannot go down to Division 4 and lose 30-8. I mean, that just can't happen. 30-8, you go down. And with the points, now Narragansett's sitting pretty because now Narragansett has Division 3 points. That's where the point system is really going to matter. Most of the teams in Division 4 are staying inside their division. And Scituate goes up and plays Central Falls. And I thought a lot of D4 teams would schedule Central Falls for the point differential, because now you're going to go up a division. You're going to play Central Falls. You're going to get them points. You know what I mean? I think I seen Division 3, Pilgrim. I think they're going up to play a couple Division 1 programs. If they win them games, I mean, some say it's a risk, but it's a risk probably worth taking. If you lose, you don't get no points. But if you win, so yeah, they're going up and getting them points. So Narragansett, Scituate, done very good. Pontigansett and East Greenwich, man. Pontigansett played very good ball, man. All them kids played very, very well. A lot of them kids already knowing the system is beneficial over there. Coach don't have to do as much. And I already told you the St. Ray's 33-14 over Coventry. Look at Eric Roop said that he could see a way where Coventry can win every game on their schedule. And I'm not sure. I think Coventry is going to be good maybe in a year or two. I don't know if Coventry is going to be good right away. Yes, they have a good junior class. You have Cameron Jones as quarterback. You have the Jones twins. You have Nate Petrarca. You have some good ball players over there, but I think, let's face it, Anthony Alejandro, I mean, yeah, second year as head coach, but it's no secret that Jimmy Cook ran that Coventry program last season. Yeah, I mean, he called the plays, called the timeouts, did it all. Parents would tell you. So Alejandro comes in. So technically, calling the shots, running the up, doing all that stuff, it's his first year as a head coach doing this. And of course, people are he's gonna deny it to the cows come home or whatever, but it's no secret. People know. They know it in the booth. They know it in the stands. I mean, no shame on him. Jimmy Cook was available, so he was like, Daddy, come help me. You know what I mean? And Jimmy Cook goes over there and helps his boy. He's supposed to do that. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure Jimmy Cook didn't want to sit basically home and do nothing. But I don't have it printed out, but this is what I have for my preseason rankings. Actually, it might be. Let me see. I think I might have put it in the banner. And something that we're gonna talk about. Oh yeah, here it is at the bottom. I got Bishop Hendricken, Barrington, LaSalle, Central and 4, North Kingstown, Burrillville, Westerly, Woonsocket, St. Ray's, Middletown, Mount Pleasant, West Warwick, Portsmouth, Cranston West. Oh, I didn't take that other Portsmouth out of there. But Portsmouth's actually back here. We're in front of South Kingstown. So, Johnston, and then we have Moses Brown. Where are we as far as the Davies, Pontiac, Pilgrim, Rogers, and then ones at the end go into like 23, 24. But the top 20, we have Bishop Hendricken, Barrington, LaSalle, Central, North Kingstown, Burrillville, Westerly, Woonsocket, St. Ray's, Middletown. That's actually my top 10. And what I'll do is later I'll give you the other 10, but yeah, that's basically the top 10. Central High School. Their field is over. Their home field is Conley Field over there in right outside of Mount Pleasant High School, right? You see Crossroads doing all that work, ready to knock a building down. Why does Central and as soon as you come out of, if anyone drove by the old YMCA, what does it look like to you? I mean, to me, and I come from the city, it looks like a drug den. I'm sorry. You got people outside, homeless people, tents all around. The homeless problem is crazy. The drug epidemic is crazy. The prostitution is and it's right out there, right happening on the sidewalk. People sitting on buckets, doing drugs as public drives by. So they're gonna build this big new homeless shelter over there, but they're not gonna do nothing about the out. So I can only imagine what happens in the building. And when they knock that YMCA down, you watch the rat problem you're gonna have over there in that end of South Side heading into downtown Providence, because Oneyville knocked the building down about a year or two, and I remember the rats coming walking in New York system in Oneyville, walking down the main corridor like we the people, but Central High School, Classical, Providence Tech, they're right there, man, and they have to see all of that, and they're spending 80, 100 million on a homeless shelter. Can we kick in $2 million to build these guys a new football field over there at Central? They got space right behind Providence Career and Tech, right behind that building. Is that something that we can do? So I got a whole bunch of stuff put aside to talk about that. I'm seeing if I could find it. Rhode Island Sports Network actually sent it to me. Shout out to what they have going on. And it was just a situation that probably we should be talking about, So that is something that I'm gonna put together. I'll probably be back about 2:30 with Coach Washington. You know what I mean? But my computer was acting all screwed up today, so but let me see here. I had all types of things that I was on, but let me see if I can find this. Hang on, guys. Hang on 1 minute. Watch this video. Hey, let's get to it, man. But definitely go check out Team Dollar TV, man. But we here to talk about Coach Charlie B-Ball, man. Charlie, man. Yo, we got to say it, man. I got to talk about it. You always know we have to hold people accountable, right? And Charlie, man, we got to hold you accountable, man, because I stand before you today, everybody, people of the public, Woonsocket, citizens of Woonsocket, people at Woonsocket Villanova football program. I want to really Charlie, I'm sorry we got to do this, man. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. So, Coach B-Ball
tonight.
What an effort Coach B-Ball and his staff does for the Woonsocket Villanovans, right? This guy goes above and beyond to ensure that his players are off the street and they receive the training that they need in football, but not only the game of football, right? The game of life. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, you thought I was going to come here and flame Coach B-Ball. Oh, no, these are, we're holding them accountable for something else. See, because we're in a society when all the negative influence can easily sway these young kids. But Coach B-Ball has taken it upon himself to give these kids a safe environment, right? For his student athletes. He knows what it takes. I think Coach B-Ball understands, right, that his role of a coach, it goes far beyond the football field. And he's made it his mission to guide his players towards success both on and off the turf. And I think we already seen that. I mean, all the commitment, the time that Coach B-Ball puts in, his entire staff, their dedication, their...
All right, here we go. I found it. I found it right there. Let me bring up my copy so I could read the damn thing. Here we go. I got it. Build that field, right? Calls for action. And it talks about that, it's fair that we need to address this, speak on it, or provide a clear stance or an unbiased. You just wanted somebody to talk about this. Yeah, I am, but I'm having problems hearing people, so I gotta fix that before I bring anybody on. But I'll get that straightened out, West Pennington. Let me get back to this, So it says that would the kids in a city benefit from facilities as such if approved by the Rhode Island General Assembly, granting the public a vote, something like this, if it's shared by a space in a square half mile by students, the homeless, drug users, and eventually services to help those adults that are in need. But what services are they really talking about? And those that went there know the situation. Where's the improvements to the public schools that kids should be really receiving? So there's housing problems combined with a widespread of homeless, and it just serves daily in reality, and it's exposed in rundown fields, staff parking lots, or student benches and pathways that are littered with sleeping homeless people. the ever so parent, I just want you to come see the apartment so you can see how people left drug use, paraphernalia, youth exposed to these conditions left by trash, disposed clothing, and unstable mental people, mental adults. They just don't take no for an answer. Sleeping on the sidewalk, consuming alcohol and drugs throughout the shared campus with these Providence high schools. And this is what Central has to deal with. This is what Classical has to deal with. This is what Providence Career and Tech have to deal with. Is it fair? No. Because it's Providence, it's okay. But if it was in your community or this community, you'd be okay with it, right? So do we really think as a state, as humans, and as community members, hundreds of $1 million housing establishments are going up without a boundary to negate these high school kids? And he's absolutely right. Shout out to Rhode Island Sports Network, who originally posted this. He's absolutely right. We're building these drug epicenters is what they really are. And you got homeless sleeping on the sidewalk, you know, litter all in the garbage. And right on the other side of the street, there's a fence where the kids play football, where your kids come when you play Classical. When when you come to that field, you look right across the street at the old YMCA. That's what that building has became. So we're putting all this money, but nothing for the kids, right? These kids are going to be exposed within feet of their educational aspirations, and as members, if we are media, if we're not media, if we're only bloggers, man, just it is what it is. But we're just trying to bring this to you because the local news they'll never talk about this, just like they wouldn't talk about Cumberland School Department spending $80,000 to investigate Fruit Loop Lima. So now we have to talk about this. So I never have a problem speaking about things, so I'm gonna actually share this. This is such a good it's such a good read, Crossroad, Rhode Island, they're holding a tour of the apartment complex, building a dividing fence, a boundary. Has it ever been a thought? Can we invest the same money equally into a field that's more of a buffer boundary to separate our kids from the homeless and drug abuse that these kids face every day? This is their reality. This is their reality when they go to Classical, when they go to Central. But is it okay because they're Providence kids? No, it's not. Honest Rhode Island, can we build the athletic team, the field, and faculties with the same hundreds of millions and political pressure towards serving these underserved public communities? Lower South Providence has always been underserved. Can we do better? But we're going to put all this money into Crossroads, Rhode Island. We have the worst case of fatherless homes that we ever had. And a lot of these kids have no guidance. And they look across the street, and this is what they see. Drive by it right now. Once this project's done, $85 million complex will have permanent and affordable one-bedroom apartments for 176 adults currently living at Travelers Aid Housing on Broad Street. And I know some of these guys have tough luck, but there's a lot of mental illness out there. Look, when they closed down the Ladd Center during the Dupree era, they closed down a mental institution because they were underfunded, and they let all these people go that were getting lobotomies, that were being sterilized. They let them go free into the world. Because at one point, Rhode Island figured, and Dr. Ladd, stupid can't breed stupid. if we take stupid or out of society, well, guess what? Yeah, you can still breed stupid. You know, each of these apartments is going to have like kitchen and bath and living area, but we can't get, you know, anything for the kids. We can't get a new field for Central and Providence Career and Technical. Mayor Smiley, are they not worth it? And here you can actually see a diagram where it actually shows Summer Street apartments. This is where it's basically going to be, you know. So I just don't understand why we can't have an athletic field. Why you can't take some of the hundreds of millions and have an athletic field for these kids. If the homeless are really the most at risk, listening to local news videos, clippings, you will hear things like, what's this say? Support services for individuals. I can't keep this blowing up. Support service for an individual's a road to success. If these kinds of developments that really make an impact with more projects in the way, if you don't want to see people in tents, then support this project, it says. You know, we need to do more, you know, for the schools. We got to do more to help our kids in these inner city communities so they don't have to deal with seeing what they see when they look across the street at Crossroads, the former YMCA building. You know, they don't have to see Tent City. Look, walking across the campus. They don't have to see any of that stuff. So, I don't see what the problem is. You know what I'm saying? But that's all. We just want to talk a little high school football today. You know, let me give you some final scores. Let me pull the app back up. But shout out to everyone that's out there pushing sports forward. You know, so who does Hope High School now co-op with? I just haven't I'm not sure. I gotta figure that out. Let's see, we got Hope and Tollgate. Let's see. Okay, Friday the 13th. So Friday night, Westerly wins 42-6. Rogers over Middletown 41-35. Moses Brown over Shea 14-8. Tolman beating Lincoln 22-14. Narragansett beats Cranston East. Cranston West with the upset over NK. Pontigansett putting 35 on EG. Pilgrim over Woonsocket 12-7. What a way to start off, Pilgrim, picking up that big, divisional win. See? It's more points for Pilgrim being in Division 3. LaSalle putting 42-7. Oof. Whipping up on St. John's. Milton shutting out Central 35-0. Did not see that. I wonder why he has them kids working out right now. Tri-County RVT over Smithfield 12-7. St. Ray's beating Coventry 33-14. Then with Friday night's games. Let's see if I can get back to Thursday. We had North Providence over Johnston. Burrville whipping up on Mount Pleasant 42-24. Let me look up some stats that were in that game. Logan Jelinas, offensive passing, 4 for 6. We didn't even see a lot of passing up there in Burrville. And then rushing, Jelinas, 9 for 58 yards. Keller, a senior, 7 for 78 yards and a pair of touchdowns, while Logan Jelinas put in 3 touchdowns himself. You know, and on the receiving end of the ball, you had Delmonica with 1 for 20 yards. Beluzzi 1 for 8. Sola 1 for 23. Maracchio 2 for 26. There's some Italians up there, huh? Burrville, let's go. You know, so that was what Burrville. So they're 1-0. Now Mount Pleasant is 0-1. And next week, Mount Pleasant plays Woonsocket. They travel up to Woonsocket. So Woonsocket's coming off a win against Pilgrim. You know, and then the following week, they play East Providence. Then they're at Middletown, at Coventry versus Tolman. So the good thing for Mount Pleasant is the second half of their schedule, you know, that they're playing Middletown. Middletown started the season with an L to Rogers, see if they can regroup. At Coventry, you know, I look at Coventry's schedule and it's hard to see, you know, maybe when they get to Lincoln, but it's hard to predict what people are gonna do. It's only week 1. It's only week 1. You know, so it's really hard to predict what people are going to do. We're keeping an eye on Shea. They got Moses Brown. Oh, they lost to Moses Brown. I'm sorry. They got West Warwick, and then they're at Middletown. So we'll see what Shea is gonna do as well. Yeah, so it's shaping up, man. Next week, Bishop Hendricken and Barrington. Oh, is that this week? Or maybe that's a game they were supposed to play, but they never got it in. Let's see. So what's coming up? Thursday, the 19th. Games that are coming up. Hope and Tollgate. PCD Co-op in North Smithfield. We'll be playing. That'll be a 6:30 game. Them are the 2 games for Thursday night, and for Friday, we're gonna have 15 games for Friday. Incredible. Bishop Hendricken. Ooh. Middletown at SK. Davies at Narragansett. West Warwick and Shea. Burrville and Barrington. Tolman and Coventry. Portsmouth and Cranston. Johnston going to Mansfield. Smithfield and Tiverton. Cranston East and Pilgrim. East Providence and Westerly. Central Falls and a bunch of co-op teams playing East Greenwich. You know, that's basically the only reason that they was able to survive, you know, stay a co-op team. You know, stay a team, Central Falls. So they needed to co-op with whoever was in the house. Blackstone Valley Prep and East Greenwich, Charahoe and Rogers. Bishop Hendricken and Cumberland, Moses Brown and Lincoln. So them are the Friday night games, and I'll post them soon. But shout out to everybody. I know, blah blah blah. It is what it is, you know. But peace out. I can't wait till next week. We might do this again. I'm not sure I really like how this came out, but congratulations, man. Congratulations to UMass Dartmouth. Pulling up a big upset. You're right. I do ride for UMass Dartmouth for one big reason. They do a lot for Rhode Island high school football. You know, can't even deny that. But all right, we out of here.
That's the bad guy. Bad guy. Bad guy. That's the bad guy. The bad guy.